So how to find the pool? All you have to do is type the postcode into your sat-nav or GPRS and it'll take you to Whitehall Road. Once you see these gates, they will be open, so just make your way straight through the car park. So once you arrive to the car park, there's enough spaces here for at least 12 people. So just make sure that when you do pull up, you park closest to the edge so that we can fit in as many cars as possible and we don't leave anybody out. Okay, so once you arrive, the first thing I'd like you to do is just make sure that you get the outside signage and just position it here so that customers can see it on their way in. And we also have an outside banner here for all the other customers, just so that when they do arrive, they know exactly where to go. So as you can see, the storage box is padlocked. The code for the storage box is 8690. Pop it open, and then just open it out and get the contents. So in here, you'll have woggles. There's 3 different colours, and there's 3 woggles for each teacher. There's 1 for you, and there's 2 for the swimmers. You'll have a maximum of 2 swimmers in your class. Then each teacher has their own swim bag. We've got 3 lanes, 3 teachers, and it's all equal. I'll just quickly go through what's in here. We've got 18 Delphin disc, so that's plenty for each child on each arm. Then you've got 2 small kickboards, 1 large kickboard. You've got sinker toys, floating toys, 3 large balls, and some small balls as well, and along with some egg flips. In these bags here, the blue bags, you'll notice we've got ice packs. So we've got a first aid box which needs to be on poolside. Just make sure that if an incident does occur, you've got some ice packs if you need them. Each teacher will have a face visor, a waterproof case, and some whistles. They'll be kept in here just as backup if you need any more. And then each of the swimmers should get their very own swim bag for anybody that's new. So just bring these on poolside so that you have them to issue. And then finally, you've got the lay ropes to put in the pool. Okay, before you enter the pool, you need to self-screen yourself. So with the coronavirus update, you need to make sure that you don't have any flu symptoms, any fever symptoms, or any cough symptoms. If you do so, you are advised to self-contain and isolate for 14 days. So if that is the case, please let us know at the earliest opportunity so we can find cover for your lessons. So this is the entrance point, and we also have an exit point at the side of the building. I'll just show you where that is now. Go. And then you've got the exit point here. So when you do leave the building, make sure you come out of this door, please. So once you arrive into the building, there is some hand sanitizer provided. So just make sure you use that. If you have your own, great, use that. Each teacher will be issued a face visor. So just make sure when you are entering the building, you do have yours on at all times. So the COVID guidelines state that in any facility, we must have a one-way system. So if you look, we've got some floor signs. We want to encourage everybody to go clockwise around the facility at any given time. So you'll notice each bench has its own disinfectant wet wipes. These are for the parents to use before they sit down and after use. You guys as teachers, there'll be one on your bench as well, so you're more than welcome to wipe down the bench. When you get into the change rooms, there is some antibacterial spray, so you just want to give it a spray before and after use. That'll disinfect the room. We want to encourage you guys to wear your uniform before you start teaching, so we can minimise the use of the change rooms as much as possible. However, once your lessons are finished, you're more than welcome to use them. So, teachers, swimmers, parents and guardians are not allowed to wear outdoor footwear on poolside. Ignore my toes, but just make sure that you adhere to these rules. Take your footwear off as soon as you get to the entrance and then just place them underneath the swim teacher's bench. So, like we said before, we have got 3 teachers and you each have your own equipment bag. Now, I've spoke about what's in them already, so I won't go through that again, but we do advise you to be colour coordinated. So whoever's in this lane here should have 3 blue woggles and their equipment bag ready to use. If you're in the middle section here, exactly the same, 3 red woggles, equipment bag ready to use. And on the far side here, you've got green woggles and your equipment bag ready to use. Now, I would advise you to just take out what you need for that lesson individually. Once your lesson has finished, you need to put your equipment back in the bag and submerge it fully to disinfect any potential case of coronavirus. How the teacher's station should set up. You've got your first aid kit, your PSOPs and EAPs, you've got the swim bags for the swimmers, you've got your visors, whistles, waterproof cases, and then you've also got your ice packs in there as well. Inside the first aid kit should be bandages, antiseptic wipes, you've also got plasters, and like I said, you've got the ice packs ready to use. So underneath the first aid kit, you should have our PSOP. So it includes the emergency action plan, our normal operating procedures, but more importantly, it's got your accident and incident report forms. So should you have to use any of the first aid equipment, you need to fill out one of those forms legally and send it to us. Take a picture and then email it to us directly. We'll make sure that the customer gets a copy, you get a copy, and then we can resolve any incidents from happening in the near future. Anything that's been used in the first aid kit can then get replaced. Okay, so underneath the accident report forms, you've got teachers' guidelines. So what you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be doing it, and when you're supposed to be doing it. But more importantly, we've got our pool safety operating procedures. So this has everything in there to do with ratios, dimensions, anything you need to know about the pool, our process and procedures can be found in there as well. In the event of emergency, whether it's structural failure, a kid cutting their toe on the tile, or potentially drowning, then the reason why you have this whistle is so that you can get the attention of the swimmers, teachers, parents and guardians, but you can also evacuate the pool. So 1 whistle is to get the attention of the swimmer, 2 whistles is to get the attention of a fellow teacher, and then 3 whistles will get everybody out of the pool. Make sure that they get the belongings from underneath the bench and then line up by the nearest fire exit. If you follow me, the fire assembly point, so it's the furthest point away from the building in the car park. If you need to call the emergency services, you should have your phone in your waterproof case and you can use 999 to call either the fire services, the ambulance or the police. So rescue equipment on poolside. You'll notice here, you've got a throw bag right next to the teacher station. If somebody is having difficulty in the water in the deep end and somebody's on the side, you're more than welcome to use these as a rescue call. So let's talk about pool dimensions. The shallow end is 1 meter deep, so you will be able to stand up. There is a sign here which states it's a shallow end, and 1 meter is 3 feet. If you look at the pool, it starts to slope down, and if you look at these pillars, that's when you will no longer be able to stand up. Once you get to the deep end, it's 2 meters deep at the central point, and on either side it starts to slope down, and at the far side it starts to slope down as well. And you'll notice the sign here, it says deep end, 7 feet is 2 meters. So when you arrive, I need you to make sure that the pool lights are on. So this switch on the left just lights up the whole surrounding of the building. You've got another switch to the right. Now this switch, if you follow me, turns on the pool lights to the pool. There's 2 lights. And then your third switch over here is this one. And if you follow me, I'll show you exactly which ones they light up. So these light up the outside of the building. And when it gets dark, the customers need to know exactly where to go. So it helps if the lights are on and we have the signage outside. Along with the lights being on, one of the key things is for the ladders to be in the deep end. As part of our risk assessment, if anything were to happen in the deep end, there needs to be a safe exit point, which is why the ladders need to be in. So, as part of your uniform, you will be issued with a long sleeve top, a t-shirt, tracksuit bottoms, tracksuit hoodie, and some shorts as well. Now, when you are teaching, all that is important to me is that you wear one of our tops. Along with that, you will also get issued the waterproof phone case, So then obviously you can use your phone to access the kids' registers and also their progress. Then you'll notice here we've got the whistle. So you need that just in case you need to get the attention of a swimmer in the water, a fellow teacher, or you need to get the attention of somebody on poolside. Finally, with the COVID restrictions in place, all teachers must have a visor on at all times once in the building. So down here is the toilet area. If you need to use the toilet at any point, make sure you use the spray from the changing room, and then just make sure it's kept exactly how you found it. Lane ropes. Now there are 2 longitudinal lane ropes, and they need to be put in at the shallow end, going around the pillar. There's hooks, which allows the rope to hook onto itself. We've got separators, so that the lane rope stays buoyant. And then there's a 3rd lane rope, which goes widthways. Yet again, tie it across the pillar, and make sure that it goes underneath or behind the ladder. We don't want it in front of the ladder as a trip hazard for people using the ladder. So when you are delivering your swimming lesson, try to keep everything that you are not using inside the bag. So there's no equipment lying on the poolside which causes a trip hazard. When you have finished using the dolphin discs, the floating toys, whatever you use, put it back in the bag, and then just submerge the bag using your hands for 30 seconds. Back into poolside, and that's one of the COVID guideline procedures, just to disinfect the equipment and kill any virus. So when you are about to start your lesson, I want your teachers to be in the pool. So we've got one teacher on the left, middle and right hand side, and there is an in point, and then there is an out point at the end of each pool. Whether you're in the middle or either side, you need to take the child to the out position, wait till the parent comes over, then the parents can take over from there. Then just get ready to take your next child. So when you are teaching, you have to have 100% hands-off approach. Now, the children should be in arm's reach. So if they do get into any difficulty, you are in a position to help them, and you can touch the equipment or the dolphin disc, but we don't want you to touch the swimmers. That can swim 25 meters, which is 3 lengths, or they're in stage 4 and above, then you are more than welcome to teach on the side if you wish. Most important rule when swim teaching is you must have the children supervised at all times. From them entering the pool, when you are delivering the lessons, you must never have your back towards a child. Always either stand in front of them and have them come towards you, or stand sideways on so they can swim past you. When you are setting the swimmers off, set them off in single file, and you can either do one length, or you can do clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise from the 3rd lane. When you have finished your lessons, make sure that you have updated all the kids' registers and that you've updated their progress. When you get home, make sure that you click sync when you are connected to Wi-Fi, and that means that we can see it from the office, and also the parents can see it from their mobile device as well. So when you have finished all your lessons, then all you need to do is put your equipment back in the storage unit. Make sure that everything you have used is in the same bag that you took it from. It's submerged before you put it away, just to disinfect it all. And then just make sure that there's no litter on poolside, there's no lost property left in the change rooms, and that the shower area is actually squeegeed and cleaned. If there is any rubbish, there is a bin here, so you can just put it on in there on your way out. And then the last person who is in the building, it's their job to just make sure that the lane ropes go in the bags and the lane ropes go away in the storage box as well, along with the first aid equipment and the PSOP file.
One of those.
So just make sure when you are entering the building, you do have yours on at all times.
Right.
Leave the building, make sure you come out of this door, please.
Thank you, please.